You finally did it. That promotion came through. Your salary jumped from $38,000 to $50,000 a year, and for exactly 3 weeks, you felt like you'd made it. You updated your LinkedIn. Maybe you treated yourself to dinner at that restaurant you always walked past but never entered. You started mentally spending money you thought you finally had. Fast forward 6 months. Somehow, you're more stressed about money than before the raise. Your bank account looks disturbingly similar to what it used to, except now you have higher monthly payments for things you convinced yourself you deserved. Welcome to the paycheck mirage, where $50,000 somehow feels exactly like being broke, just with better credit card debt. I'm Ryan, and today we're diving deep into why people making what society calls decent money still feel like they're drowning financially. If you've ever looked at your salary and thought it should be enough, but your bank account tells a completely different story, this video is for you. Hit that subscribe button and drop a like if this resonates, because we're about to question everything you thought you knew about money. Here's what nobody tells you when you're celebrating that job offer. $50,000 isn't actually $50,000. It's not even close. Let's do some uncomfortable math together. That $50,000 sounds respectable until you realize that after federal taxes, state taxes, Social Security, and Medicare, you're looking at maybe $38,000 actually hitting your account. In some states, it's even less. That breaks down to roughly $3,000 per month take home. Now, before you think $3,000 a month should be plenty, let's watch it disappear in real time. The average rent for a decent one-bedroom apartment in most cities is pushing $1,500. That's half your income gone before you've bought a single grocery item. Add in a car payment, because you need reliable transportation to get to that job paying you $50,000. And there goes another $400. Car insurance, health insurance, renter's insurance, utilities. You're now down to about $800 for the entire month. $800 to cover food, gas, phone bill, internet, clothes, any kind of entertainment, unexpected expenses, and supposedly building wealth for your future. This is where the mirage becomes crystal clear. You're making what society considers decent money, but you're living like someone on minimum wage, except with better job titles and probably more student loan debt. But here's where things get really twisted. The psychological impact is what destroys you. Your brain doesn't adjust expectations based on your take-home pay. It adjusts them based on that big number on your offer letter. When HR says $50,000 a year, your brain starts planning for $50,000 worth of lifestyle. But your bank account is operating on $38,000 of reality. The middle class squeeze. Making $50,000 puts you in a bizarre financial purgatory. You earn too much to qualify for most assistance programs, but too little to actually build meaningful wealth. You're caught in the middle class squeeze. Your income is just high enough to disqualify you from help, but not nearly high enough to not need it. It's like being stuck at a poker table with just enough chips to stay in the game, but not enough to make any real moves. When you're making minimum wage, you know you're broke. Your expectations align with reality. You eat ramen, you shop at thrift stores, you accept that luxuries aren't for you right now. There's a weird clarity in that struggle. But when you're making $50,000, society tells you that you should be comfortable. Your friends and family expect you to have your life together. You feel pressure to maintain a certain lifestyle because, after all, you're making good money. This creates what I call lifestyle inflation anxiety. You start buying things not because you can truly afford them, but because you feel like you should be able to afford them. That $5 morning coffee isn't just coffee. It's your brain trying to reconcile the gap between what you think your income should provide and what it actually provides. You're not buying coffee. You're buying the feeling of being someone who can casually spend $5 without thinking about it. And the credit card companies? They know this psychology better than you do. The credit trap. They see that $50,000 salary and immediately approve you for credit lines that would have been impossible when you were making $30,000. Suddenly, You have access to $10,000 or $15,000 in available credit. Your brain starts treating that credit as extended income. The monthly payment on a $2,000 credit card balance feels manageable when you're making decent money, right? So you justify the purchase. Then another. Then another. This is how people making $50,000 end up with the same financial stress as people making $30,000. The only difference? The $50,000 earner has nicer stuff to be stressed about. They're eating better food while worrying about money. They're driving a newer car while living paycheck to paycheck. They're wearing better clothes while their savings account stays empty. The mirage becomes even more powerful when you start comparing yourself to others in your income bracket. Social media absolutely destroys this situation. You see people who supposedly make similar money posting photos from vacations you can't afford, eating at restaurants that would blow your weekly budget, buying things that seem completely out of reach. This creates a constant feeling that you're doing something wrong with your money. But in reality, most of those people are either financing their lifestyle with debt or have financial advantages they're not posting about. Nobody's Instagram caption says, "Financed this trip with 3 credit cards and help from my parents." What's particularly cruel about the $50,000 trap is that it's just enough money to make you feel guilty about financial stress. When you complain about money, people look at your salary and assume you're just bad with budgeting. They don't understand that after taxes, rent, transportation, and basic living expenses, there's virtually nothing left to budget. You end up feeling ashamed about your financial situation because on paper, you should be fine. The housing nightmare. The housing market turns a decent salary into a cruel joke. On paper, $50,000 should qualify you for a mortgage. In reality, it only gets you homes in bad areas or places that need tens of thousands in repairs. Buying feels impossible, so you rent, but renting means building no equity while your money disappears every month. People say, just move somewhere cheaper, ignoring that cheaper places usually have fewer jobs, and moving costs money you don't have. You're trapped. Jobs are in expensive cities, but those cities are unaffordable. This is where the psychological trap starts. You believe the solution is earning more. Surely $75,000 will fix everything. But when you get there, it feels exactly like $50,000 did before. Your expenses grow with your income. This is lifestyle creep, and it's not entirely your fault. The financial advice trap. Financial advice makes things worse. You're told to stop buying lattes, cook every meal, use coupons, and start a side hustle. None of this changes the math. You might save $100 a month until one unexpected expense wipes it out. Side hustles are sold as freedom, but really they just turn every evening and weekend into work. Financial stress is treated like a motivation problem instead of a systemic one. You start obsessing over small purchases while ignoring big, complex bills like insurance. Companies encourage this by focusing on monthly payments instead of total cost. One subscription doesn't hurt, but dozens of small charges quietly drain your future. The psychological toll. Living like this is mentally exhausting. Every decision requires calculations. A dinner out can ruin your month. You look successful on the outside, but inside you're constantly stressed. Dating and social life suffer. You avoid expensive plans, split checks, and make excuses to skip events. If you have student loans, everything gets worse. Hundreds per month just for the job that pays you $50,000. Healthcare becomes a gamble. You have insurance, but high deductibles make you delay care and hope problems go away. Retirement advice sounds absurd when survival already feels hard. The generational gap. The difference is family support. People with financial backup experience $50,000 very differently. Without it, every setback is a crisis. You're playing life on hard mode while others don't even realize the difficulty exists. Subscriptions, student debt, housing costs, all of it compounds. Canceling feels like failure, even when it's necessary. The truth is simple. The math isn't broken. You're not failing. The system is designed to keep you running in place while convincing you progress is just one raise away. A $50,000 salary is the perfect trap. High enough to seem successful, low enough to keep you struggling, and awkward enough that complaining makes you look ungrateful. Understanding this isn't about giving up. It's about seeing reality clearly, so you can ask better questions and define financial freedom on your own terms. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.